The movie begins with a police officer named Jack, who is driving while talking to his loyal dog, Ace. He remarks on the intense heat, joking that they might fry inside the vehicle. Jack clearly adores Ace, treating him as more than just a working dog, he's a true companion. Suddenly, he receives a dispatch call instructing him to pursue a suspect, and he drives to a remote road lined with makeshift camps, where many impoverished people reside. Upon arrival, another officer shows Jack an abandoned car linked to the fleeing suspect. The man had escaped on foot, leaving the vehicle behind. Jack releases Ace to inspect the car. Ace sniffs around and detects drugs hidden in the trunk, giving the officers their first real lead. With that, Jack and Ace begin combing the camp to locate the suspect. Ace picks up the trail. As police tighten their search, gunfire erupts from one of the tents. The suspect shoots an officer. In the midst of the chaos, a box from the suspect's car explodes, creating a fiery distraction that allows him to flee undetected. Jack and Ace pursue him all the way to an abandoned house. Inside, Jack discovers the suspect has murdered someone and is hiding within. A gunfight breaks out. The suspect fires at Jack, who returns fire, hitting the man and causing him to fall out of a window to his death. In the aftermath, Jack finds Ace unconscious and severely injured. In a panic, he carries the dog to EMT Robles, pleading for medical attention. Robles insists human victims are the priority, enraging Jack, who lashes out and starts a physical fight. The confrontation is recorded by bystanders. The next scene shows a solemn ceremony held in Ace's honor. Police officers gather to pay tribute to the fallen K9, while Jack speaks softly to Ace's lifeless body, overwhelmed with grief. Back at home, he's devastated. His girlfriend, Mia, comes to check on him. She asks if he's okay and encourages him to talk. Jack insists he's fine and closes the door. Later, Jack meets with fellow officers. He reveals that he suspects the criminal who killed Ace spoke their language, perhaps indicating he was working from the inside. Jack vows to get to the bottom of what happened, even if it costs him his badge. As he prepares to leave, his friend Ramos advises him to slip out the back way. Jack also requests Ace's post-mortem report to learn what exactly led to his partner's death. He visits the police doghouse to return Ace's personal items, a solemn tradition for fallen K9s. There, he notices another dog with its mouth bound shut by a belt. The dog's name is Socks, and she appears violent. Jack questions the caretaker, who explains that Socks suffers from a disease. Driven by grief and curiosity, Jack is determined to uncover the truth behind Ace's death. He returns to the site of the incident, searching for Denty, an informant he often relies on. But Denty is nowhere to be found. Instead, Jack spots an unusual bottle on the ground. He asks around about Denty, but no one can provide any leads. Eventually, he receives a message from Ramos, asking him to meet her at a nearby coffee shop. There, Jack sketches a mysterious design he noticed on the bottle and also on substances used by addicts. Ramos hands him Ace's autopsy report, confirming that the dog died of poisoning. Jack shows her the symbol, and she recognizes it as a logo tied to a dangerous new drug that's been claiming lives. Upon learning this, Jack becomes even more determined to hunt down those responsible. Ramos warns him that the people behind this drug are powerful and advises him to consider adopting a new dog. Jack visits the doghouse again and decides to adopt Socks, despite being cautioned about her aggressive behavior. At home, he tries to feed her dog food, but she refuses to eat. When he offers his own meal, she finally eats, triggering a memory of something someone once said to him. A flashback shows Jack in the doghouse, speaking with an old man about his struggles with suicidal thoughts. At a low point in life, Jack had considered ending it all, but the old man's words convinced him to go on. In the present, Jack and Mia share coffee at home. He confesses to her that she's the only one who understands and genuinely likes him, unlike everyone else. They kiss, connecting over the moment. The next morning, Jack takes Socks jogging. Afterward, he places a police jacket on her and brings her to the station, determined to get her certified as his new partner. During the assessment, Socks fails to obey commands, leaving Jack disappointed and drawing laughter from others. Refusing to give up, he tries again, this time, calmly sitting beside her. He speaks to her gently and, without meaning to, snaps his fingers. Instantly, Socks bolts off and completes every task perfectly, shocking the crowd. Later, Jack meets Mia at a coffee shop. Afterward, he collects his keys and returns to active duty. While in his patrol car, he receives intel that a man named Dante has been kidnapped. Jack joins fellow officers as they head out to interrogate him. At the scene, the police question Dante, who refuses to identify his captors. Once the officers leave, Jack approaches. Socks barks at Dante, who claims to be fine but is clearly terrified. Jack buys Dante a cold drink and shows him the same tissue with the cryptic design. He asks about its meaning and who's manufacturing the drugs. Dante, glancing around nervously, wipes his face with the tissue and confesses that the only clue he knows points to China. Jack later meets Ramos and tells her he believes a company is producing the drugs. He asks for the identity of the person behind it. Ramos warns him that these people are dangerous and not to be taken lightly. Jack remains determined to uncover the truth. Ramos urges caution, but Jack is steadfast. Later, he vents to someone about his deep frustration with the way animals are mistreated. While out jogging, Ramos approaches Jack and reveals that the man responsible is Xiang Jai, a Chinese figure. Jack takes Socks back for another round of tests. This time, she's challenged to locate an object hidden beneath a heavy tire. She pushes the tire, finds the hidden ball, and retrieves it. Suddenly, a gun is fired. Socks immediately leaps into action, taking down the attacker and passing the test. Socks is now officially certified as a police dog. Jack resumes his duties, taking Socks to a specific site with clearance from his superior. At the location, he encounters a door that requires a password. He radios the officer for it, enters the building, and follows Socks down a staircase. She leads him to a specific room, where she sits alert. Gun drawn, Jack follows her. He's ambushed by a man, while Socks engages in a fierce fight with another dog. Jack subdues the attacker as Socks wins the battle. With the threat neutralized, they return home. Jack bathes Socks and examines the strange bottle he found, noting her reaction to it. It's clear she recognizes the design, though its meaning remains a mystery. Determined to find answers, Jack investigates Xiang Jai's social media and locates an address, which he scribbles onto paper. The next day, he approaches his superior to explain the findings. Ace was killed by a drug called Dozer, produced by a Chinese firm. He says Ramos knows this too. His officer immediately calls Ramos and berates her, warning that such accusations could have serious consequences. Ramos apologizes to save her job, but Jack refuses to back down. The officer threatens to fire him. Jack leaves in anger, more committed than ever to uncovering the truth. With Socks, Jack travels to the address he found online. It's a dilapidated building. Inside, Socks guides him to a room where a man is labeling drugs. Jack orders him to turn around. The man suddenly recognizes Socks and says, "Are you alive, Socks?" Shocked, Jack demands to know how he knows the dog. The man mentions Santiago, who was Socks' original owner. Suddenly, he throws a substance into Jack's eyes, temporarily blinding him. Socks, meanwhile, notices a woman in the room and runs toward her. As Jack struggles to regain his vision, Socks confronts the woman, signaling hidden connections and secrets. Jack begins to feel drowsy and struggles to stay awake. The next morning, Jack wakes up in the same building, bruised and disoriented. His car has been blown up. Police arrive, but due to Jack's past actions and insubordination, he is officially dismissed from the force. As he walks away, Officer Hernandez offers him a lift and urges him to recover Socks. Meanwhile, Mia, angered and hurt by Jack's choices, leaves him. Distraught, Jack tracks down Santiago, a former police officer whose life took a dark turn. When his daughter became gravely ill, Santiago couldn't afford treatment. Desperate, he turned to the cartel for help, supplying them with police dogs. The cartel began drugging the dogs, impairing their ability to detect cocaine hidden in garbage. This allowed the cartel to expand its operation. Santiago explains that Socks had contracted a disease, prompting her abandonment at the doghouse. Acting on Santiago's information, Jack tails a garbage truck to a facility where other garbage vehicles are parked. Two men emerge, leading several dogs, including Socks, to inspect the trash. The men then head inside. Determined to rescue his partner, Jack calls Hernandez for backup and carefully sneaks inside. A violent confrontation follows. Jack fights the cartel members, killing several, while Hernandez provides sniper support. Together, they take control of the building. Inside, Jack finds the woman who had Socks. She agrees to release the dog, but only if Socks chooses Jack of her own accord. Socks doesn't respond to his call at first, having been with the woman for a long time. Jack, heartbroken, challenges the woman to shoot him. As she aims her weapon, he snaps his fingers. Instantly, Socks attacks, biting the woman's throat. In the struggle, the woman manages to shoot Socks, but Jack escapes with her. 1 year later, Jack sits in his car, talking on the phone. His wife Mia and their child are with him. Socks, still limping from the injury, rests beside them, a living symbol of loyalty, healing, and survival after unimaginable hardship. Thanks for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more of these recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.